Good morning. It's a beautiful day in Ojai. This is a beautiful spot here, this retreat center. I'm always kind of overwhelmed by it when I come up here. I may be out of things to say. I think I have pretty much said everything that I have to say, everything that is pertinent to why we are gathered together here. However, having said it over the period of time that we have, I'd like to just take a second, well, actually, a little while, shorter than usual, to speak what it is that I have to say freshly and just that, speak what I have to say. I don't know what I want to do, except that I want to go over what it is that I am here to do. I want to go over a little bit what I see to be our work, Carla and my work, and what it is that I would like for everyone who comes in contact with me to take away from their contact with me. I don't have a teaching, first of all. I'm trying to try to give you a bare bones summary of what it is that I'm proposing. I don't have a teaching, first of all, in the sense that I don't have something to offer you, or at least my primary purpose is not to offer you some explanation for the world and the universe and consciousness and our nature and all of that, or a description of those things. I don't have to offer you some suggestion as to how you should see your relationship with things or how you should see your own life or anything of that nature. I talk about those things sometimes, but that's not my purpose, to talk about those things. My purpose is neither is what I have to say either an elaboration on the ancient teachings, whether they be Indian spirituality or religion or psychology or philosophy or any of those things. What I have to say is not an elaboration or a development on those things. Neither is it a repudiation of any of them. What I have seen to be the case, in what I have seen to be the case, pertaining to what I have seen to be the case, all of that is beside the point. I'm not repudiating the teachings. I'm not elaborating on the teachings. I'm not expanding them. I'm not explicating them. They are, nor am I giving you movie criticism, nor am I giving you philosophy, or anything at all, except one simple suggestion. And it's more a proposal than it is a teaching. It's more a proposition, something for you to consider. Through no fault or merit of my own, it has come to pass in this life that I have I have seen something really, really simple that can be done, that will, my claim is that this will infallibly lead to an end to the sense of something being wrong in your life. It will infallibly lead in the end to a dissolution of the distance between you and your life, of the sense that your life is something that is wrong and needs to be fixed and needs to be watched and kept an eye on. What I propose is not something that I am suggesting will reveal to you the nature of God, or the nature of the universe, or necessarily reveal to you the nature of anything. What I propose is what I know to be the case, which is if you would do this simple thing, and it is much easier to do if you disregard the apparent connection it has with spiritual teaching and spiritual utterance and spiritual revelation and so forth, because that's not what it is. If it is what I think it is at what could be best said its relationship to the teachings and all of that, and it's not me. But what it is, if it is what I think it is, if anything, is a kind of fulfillment of those teachings. A kind of fulfillment of this yearning within humanity to find escape or resolution to what seems to be the human predicament, the paradox of human life, the cruelty of the appearance of being a creature with such great promise and great possibility of magnificent comprehension, and the actuality of being a creature that is doomed and is saddled and burdened by a sense that there is something wrong that must be corrected first before the promise of life can be fulfilled. There are a lot of things that we've talked about over this time in which we have spoken about the received wisdom of the ages, the things that the teachings have told us about the nature of reality and about our relationship to it. And I suspect that as little interest as I have in those things, that for as long as I am doing this work, that will be something that's just the case. But this really has nothing to do with that. This really is a fresh start. This is something that requires nothing of you, you see. It doesn't require you even to believe that what I'm saying is true. This is the simplest and most comprehensive thing that I have ever heard of. It doesn't require that you believe me. It doesn't require that you believe it's true. It doesn't require that you have a deep understanding of how it can be so that this would have such a profound effect on life. It doesn't require that you have a deep understanding of your place in the universe or of God or of anything else. It doesn't require that you abandon the things that you do believe and understand, and it doesn't require that you keep them. It doesn't require anything of you. Nothing. Nothing. There are no prerequisites to this. This is available, literally, to any conscious human being, old enough to understand the instruction. It's really, I think that it is, it's not necessary that you see this to be as unconnected with anything else as I see it to be. It is perfectly okay if you see it as either a development or a repudiation or anything you want to see it as in relation to everything that has gone in the past. It's just that it's not. But it won't hurt you to believe it. Really. There's no prerequisite that you say, oh, okay, everything else is worthless and this is all I want to do. All that it requires of you is that you do it. Nothing else. Nothing, literally, nothing else. Although it's not required that you see it to be the case, what I'm saying, it's helpful if you consider it in a context of the possibility that what I am proposing is something new and different. That it really does not have the entanglement with everything that has gone before that it might seem to have at first blush. And the reason this would be useful for you to do, and not to say that everything that's gone before is bad, not to discard or repudiate that, but the reason that it's useful for you to see it as something absolutely apart from, not beholden to any tradition, any philosophy, any spiritual teaching, any religion, is because it will be easier for you to rest and not be disturbed by what may happen as a result of undertaking this. To the extent that you are persuaded that it is vitally important that the teachings and the religions and the philosophies and the therapeutic ideas and so forth, to those who think that it's critically important that these things be verified or confirmed or adopted as part of what I'm asking you to do, it's going to just be hard for you. It really will be hard for you. It's okay, because being hard for you will not stop it from doing its work. This is unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. It has taken my breath away. I did not expect what has come to pass in the time that Carla and I have been in this work. I did not expect to see what I see now. I have a theory, which is a little more than a hypothesis, but it's a theory about how it is the case that what I propose that you do has the effect and the consequences that it causes and has. I have a theory about it, but that theory is of no importance to actually undertaking the work. It's not required to undertake the work. The theory about it is explanatory and simplifying, but it's not required. You need not take anything I say to be like the revealed Word of God or anything like that. Like I'm not channeling anybody. Nobody. I have a theory which I have referred to in the time we've been together from time to time that has to do with the arising of fear concurrent with the arising of self-consciousness in human beings and the resultant unexamined and literally unconscious assumption that there's something wrong. And unexamined, literally. We go through our lives driven and guided and shaped and moved by the feeling that there's something that needs to happen that isn't happening. The feeling there's something that needs to be gotten that isn't gotten. The feeling there's something that has to be gotten rid of that is still here. We search high and low. We exhaust ourselves in the effort to find what it is that I need and to find a way to get a hold of it, to find what it is that is diminishing me and find a way to get rid of it. And this is the actual substance of the dissatisfaction of human life, the unsatisfactoriness of human life, is this endless search for a solution without even bothering to stop to see what the problem might be, or whether there is a problem. That's the way we've done it forever, for as long as we've been doing this. Search for a solution. Search for what needs to change. Outward, always outward, looking at thoughts and relationships and sensational feelings and emotional arisings and all of that for clues and hints as to what I have to keep and what I have to get rid of and what I don't have to worry about at all. That's what we do. We do it, whether we do it consciously or unconsciously, whether we do it driven by unconscious forces that the very unconsciousness of them makes it even more miserable, or we do it thinking we know what we're doing, thinking we know what the kind of thing is that we're looking for that should be kept, and what the kind of thing we're looking for should be gotten rid of. We take our clues in this matter from spiritual teachings, from advertisements, from the culture at large, from music, from philosophy, from religious teachings, and every source whatsoever of human expression, which is a cacophony of noise. All of our efforts to figure out what's wrong, to figure out what's right, to figure out what's needed, to figure out what needs to be gotten rid of. Furthermore, the whole appearance of the sense of something wrong, I speak of it as fearfulness, the sense that there's something that needs to be done, the sense that there's a problem. The whole assumption is false. It is demonstrably false. There is nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with your life. There's nothing wrong with the intermittent appearance of personality traits and desires and aversions and stupidity and clarity. There's nothing wrong with any of that. It causes no trouble. These things, in my view, are all effects. They are all the outcome of the only problem, the source of the problem, which is the idea that you're at stake and in danger and have to be careful, that there's something wrong. Everything else that we have perceived to be problems are not problems at all. They cause nothing. They cause nothing. They are sensational arisings around which we cluster with thought and analysis and description and so forth. They cause nothing. Neither do the feelings that arise within us when we are in the presence of others who seem to be difficult to be in the presence of. People who are themselves miserable and project hatefulness and anger and aggression. Neither do those, the feelings that evoke in us, neither do they hurt anything. Neither do they help anything. They are phenomenal arisings and nothing more. They're effects. They cause nothing. The comprehensiveness of this beside the pointness is breathtaking. It is inclusive. These things that we have taken so seriously, the comprehensiveness of their beside the pointness is stunning. They are not beside the point to the general unfolding of the life. They are not beside the point to the enjoyment or lack of enjoyment in the life, but they are beside the point to the fundamental issue of human existence, which is why is life so not what it seems to promise to be. There's nothing we do about those things, to those things, because of those things that have been of any help to us whatsoever. There have been almost insignificant scattering of human beings over the thousands and thousands of years that we have worked to try to find a solution to the human dilemma, who actually have fallen away from the belief in the problem. And these few human beings in which this has occurred have been uneven in their ability to relate to us what has happened. They are not infallible. We have taken these people to be infallible. They are not. They would not claim to be themselves. They've been very uneven in their ability to express to us what happened and how it happened and what the practical steps we can take to eliminate the misery of life in our own lives. We are drawn to them because the authenticity of their fearlessness is self-evident. Not because the things that they tell us to do or the suggestions that they make have been effective in any way whatsoever over the sweep of human history. What I propose is that, if you will, what I propose is that without regard to what my theory is, what I continuously, I have to fill the time with something, right? And what I continuously yak about, my theory as to why this is and how it works and so forth, is absolutely also beside the point. Really. At the bottom, all that's required is that you, with all your heart, once in a while, not all the time, you don't have to make a career out of it, but once in a while just put your whole heart into an effort to get a conscious, recognizable glimpse of your own nature. Now, your own nature is unitary. Everybody agrees with that. It's not the conglomeration of characteristics and the parade of phenomena that we have come to believe ourselves to be. Your actual nature is unitary. It's a singularity. And what I ask is that you exert every effort that you can possibly do to get a recognizing glimpse consciously of that singularity that you are, that is you. Not self, not awareness, not consciousness, not God, not any of that. Just you. Just you. The ordinary sense of the word I. Not the spiritual sense. The ordinary sense of the word me. The simple English pronoun me. And what I tell you is that if you will do that, and without regard to my theories about it, without regard to your theories about it, that if you will do that, sooner or later, and really I'm completely bamboozled to even make a suggestion as to how to tell how long a process this will be, but sooner or later, that sense of something being wrong will dissolve and disappear. The sense of your life as being separate from you, something that either traps you or you wish you were closer to, the life of you being separate from you, that sense of alienation from your own life, that sense of self-hatred, really, that's what it arises from, will disappear. And that none of this will come as a big deal. Really. You might not even notice it. Really. So the only thing I propose, all the talk aside, the only thing I propose is that you, for yourself, find a way to get an actual, just a glimpse of your actual nature. And everything else follows. That's the soul, that is the entirety of my proposal, my suggestion, what I'm asking you to consider and to try. The advantage of this is that it is self-evidently harmless. It can't hurt you to look at you. It doesn't require anything of you. It doesn't require the abandonment of anything. You may see old ideas falling away as this process unfolds, and you may even mourn their loss. But not for long. This is so stunningly easy and so stunningly effective that, again, it takes my breath away. It is plain to me, as it must be plain to all of you, that humanity itself is in desperate trouble. It's on the edge of actually snuffing itself out. We are. Us. We're on the edge of doing away with us. We haven't been here very long, so it's because we're so damn smart that we have managed in such a short period of time to bring ourselves to the edge of extinction. The dinosaurs were here for hundreds of millions of years, and they required a meteor to wipe them out. I am convinced, without a shadow of a doubt, that to the extent that this proposal can be moved into the human community at large, you see, it doesn't require any spiritual foundation to it. It really doesn't. It doesn't require any of this. It so happens that we are, all of us here, of a spiritual bent, because we are, all of us here, including me, residents of the ghetto of spirituality. A kind of an insular, isolated bubble of human understanding and human effort and activity that is, we are actually, in my view, pretty handicapped by. But this is not just for the spiritually inclined. It's not just for those who, in fact, it may be more difficult for the spiritually inclined. It's not just for those who have stumbled upon the spiritual solution and chosen that rather than the religious solution or the psychological solution or the philosophical solution or the get-rich-quick solution or any other of the solutions that present themselves to us over our lifetime as ways out of the misery of being a human being. This is for everybody. If it can be presented to everybody in a way that does not require of anybody that they accept or reject anything whatsoever in what they think about things, this is for everybody. Who cannot look at their nature? Who cannot be willing to try this? Once, anyway. And if this does move into the human community at large, which it may not, who knows? It's a crapshoot. But if it can, and if it does, it might well save our lives. The life of human creatures, the life of humanity. Because everything that we are doing that is so destructive, that is so absolutely self-destructive and stupid and everything we're doing, we do in compliance to this endlessly arising urge to find an answer, to find a solution, to find something to believe, to find something to be, to become. Everything we do. Genocide is done for that reason. Everything we do. The polluting of the atmosphere is done for that reason, collectively. That reason. We ignore it for that reason. All of our ignorance is fed and nourished and cradled in the arms of that fearfulness, that sense that something's wrong. When that goes, it all goes. This is not a thing that is the solving of one thing and then another thing and then another thing. This is the source of the problem. This idea that there's a problem. When it goes, it all goes. So, in a nutshell, not even too big a nutshell this time, that's what I have wanted to convey here in this retreat. The simplicity, just that, just what I just said. And that's the work that Carla and I do, is just to do this, to bring this proposal, not a teaching, not a way out, a proposal. Try this. This can't hurt. It really can't hurt. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to do anything. Just try this. Look at yourself. See if you can get a glimpse of your actual nature. See if you can do that. Of course you can. And then you will see for yourself things as they are. You will require no teachings to see for yourself things as they are. You will be self-sufficient. Self-reliant. Because that's what a teaching cannot provide, is the capacity and the power for you to see for yourself what it is. See reality for yourself. It's not hard. It takes time. Sometimes well, sometimes not so long. Okay? So now, pretty much for the rest of this time, I'm not going to say this, but I probably will come back this afternoon and say something. It's just in my nature. But for now, it's on you. I want very much to hear from you. So anybody who wants to talk, just let me know. Shankar and then Julie. Hi.
I was actually raised religiously, then I moved on to spirituality, and now I feel that I'm out of spirituality.
Hallelujah. Praise God.
Yes. Well, my question is, personally for me, I feel that after listening to this and trying to, do what you're asking to do, what you're saying is very, very subtle, very, very subtle. That's what I feel. And it requires a sense of smartness and intelligence to understand that. And for me, from my young age itself, I had struggled even to study. Even I had seen people who study something and they just get it like that. For me, it takes at least 2 or 3 times to get it. I mean, I work very hard at every single thing. That's why I did my schooling and my graduation, coming to US, and even job also. I do a lot of hard work and put a lot of effort, which some people just put it like this. And so I think that I know that I'm not that much smart or intelligent enough to do the things as this. So with this case, for me, this work, because it requires a deep sense of understanding, intelligence, and smartness, as I think. And with my capacity that I have, where I put huge amount of effort in every single thing, this sense of subtleness, it works for me. And what can I do to get this, that?
What can you do to what?
To, make this work for me, or
all you have to do is look at you, Shankar. That's all. Really, that's it. There's nothing more to it. And then you see for yourself. The inclination among teachers to tell you what you are, to lead you in the direction as to what you are to see, and what your proper relationship to those things are, in my mind, is just useless. At best, useless. The whole point of explicit point of everything that has been offered in the realm of teachings and so forth is to bring the aspirant to the point where the aspirant sees for their self reality. That's their explicit purpose. It's the explicit purpose of even of philosophy. It's even the explicit purpose of therapy. It's the explicit purpose of many authentic attempts at solutions. The difference between this and all of that is that this actually will result in you seeing for yourself, and any inclination to refer to prior understanding to see that it is consistent with what you are seeing for yourself is a snare. You see for yourself. You look. You know, life speaks for itself. It doesn't need a mouthpiece. It really doesn't. And I tell you that, and I know that you are doing this. And I tell you that over time, and that sometimes the unfolding of this process is itself extremely subtle, is really almost unnoticeable. And then there'll come a time when you notice that, wow, things, it's different. Things are different. Things are not threatening. Things are not important in the way they used to be. And you may come to see for yourself. You will see for yourself, you. And that's the key, the core of it. There's nothing more to it than that. You see you for yourself directly, and everything else follows. There's no need for me to dispute with you about wrong understanding or right understanding or any of that. My understanding is certainly wrong, or at least not entirely right. You see? But what I see is clear, crystal clear. My understanding of what I see is an addition, and kind of an incrustation on the seeing itself. My understanding is, like anybody else's. It's subject to be twisted and distorted and by perspective and poor vision or whatever. But the actuality of it is that you will see for yourself the nature of it, reality, and be surprised at how not new it is.
So even with less smartness or less intelligence or whatever it is, I could definitely keep on working on it, and I could.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're very smart. You don't trick me, but you're very smart. But that doesn't matter. It's not a requirement. In fact, a really developed discursive intelligence, a discursive view of things and so forth, if anything, will cause trouble rather than be helpful, because of the constant inclination to refer back to it. But since what you're being asked to do is not doing anything that can possibly be harmful to you, the impulse to check to make sure that it's not getting off base is misplaced and unnecessary. And it just distracts you. It takes more time. Do you follow that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Very well. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Julie?
Hi again.
Again.
Yeah, the first night I came here and I presented myself, I came with a load of problems that I thought I'm going to solve, right?
Yeah.
And it's all beside the point, as you say.
It's not so much that it's not so much, I want to clarify what I mean when I say that it's beside the point. It's not so much that it's beside the point in the sense of being something that is not what you think it is and nothing to be concerned about. The problems and the misery and the torment that comes and goes within you is not beside the point in that sense. In fact, it is what has given rise to the desire within you to find a solution.
Right.
The more acute the sense of misery is, the more energetic is the activity to find a solution. It's beside the point to the solution, however. The particular characteristics of your misery are beside the point to the solution. The solution solves it all.
Right.
You see?
what I wanted to say is that my effort to fix the problem is
Right.
beside the
That's
point.
right.
Yeah, so that's what I
Okay.
actually meant.
I just clarify that because
Yeah, thank
I'm
you.
trying to be so clear. You
No,
know.
it's perfect. It helps tremendously. So yeah, that's what I realized, the efforts to go to, the suffering helps tremendously because without suffering, I would not be impelled to look
That's
inside, right?
Your capacity for denial is less than most,
Yes.
really. And denial is the greatest tactic in keeping you miserable.
Yeah, it is. So, thinking about what Nisargadatta Maharaj said about the problems, it's like this is your universe, that you are alone in your universe, you are alone in your mental creation. So now no one can help you there. That's what I understood you told me. And to me, this is like, it's helpful to help me look at it, but that's what I wanted to say, that's beside the point for me to fix those problems.
That's right.
What I can do is to look at myself.
That's right.
That's all I can do.
That's right. That's clear.
And it's a sense of calmness.
Yes, it's amazing.
Started to begin. Well, I'm not so calm now because I have to come up and speak here. But nevertheless, the first day when I came here, I wasn't even calm sitting on my seat.
Mm-hmm.
While today and yesterday evening, I find a sense of tremendous calmness. It's not silence like it was 10 years ago when I went to that experience, and it's not like I'm aware in a sleep and I just open my eyes and I can stare at the wall for 4 hours and be ecstatic.
Right. Yeah.
So that is not there, but nevertheless, the desire to look back and have contact to that nothingness, to that emptiness, it's gradually kind of takes place. And I know there is no transmission, like you have nothing to transmit. You know, some people look like a guru for some magical transmission.
That's what we do, yeah.
But in my case, there is certain transmission just to watch you and sense the tremendous peace and fearlessness. It kind of is catchy for me. Let's put it that way. I identify with that.
Maybe it's just that you find that you can trust him.
Yes.
You know, and you can. I'm trustworthy. I'm not trustworthy in all realms of activity, but I'm trustworthy here.
Yeah. Well, you know, the way I found it's a miracle because I was so burned with the spiritual searching and spiritual teachings, and I felt like if I hear somebody else talk about spirituality, I'm going to feel like I'm strangled.
Mm-hmm.
And I was surfing the net, and Adi Ashanti, and I said, okay, another one. And, you know, I respect everybody, and I respect Adi Ashanti, maybe speaks with other people, but it didn't touch me. And then I saw you and I said, oh yeah, right, another one here.
Yes, right. Another one.
I said, no, I'm not going to listen. But somehow Ramana Maharshi word was attached to your website. And though Ramana Maharshi was kind of pulling me strongly like a magnet, I never understood his work. So I said, let me hear what it's here. So I gave myself 1 minute to listen to your video, and I swear to God, what happened? It's like my heart was touched. I felt like when you fell in love, it's like, wow, what is that? And then I listened to the entire video, and the clarity struck me like thunder. And then I put it aside. I went to Thailand. And you just started your worldwide meetings, and then in Thailand I formed a group. I talked about you there, so I think we were on a worldwide meeting talking to you from Thailand.
Wow.
And then I came back to Montreal, and
we have people from Thailand that come. Might be because of you.
I was there and talking. I was in university in Chiang Mai trying to take a course in teaching English, and it was the director of language there, and he spoke about you and said, "Oh, John Sherman, he's so clear." So he went and he talked to you, and that's it. He got it right away on the spot, faster than me, though.
Yeah.
So then I came back to Montreal, and I put it aside, and again I listened to your, whatever. I download your talks on iPod and walking. I listen. Again, my heart is like, wow. So that's history. I'm here meeting you in person.
And here you are. I'm very grateful for you being here, too.
Show me back the direction too. Because for 2 years since I lost that experience, I was looking for somebody to at least show me what happened to me, what's wrong, and okay, now I understand I cannot go back there because this is memory. How to be back to look at myself.
That's it. And then you see for yourself.
Yeah.
The whole point of this is to bring you to the point through your own activity, not through anything that you hear from me or any story or anything, but to bring you to the point through your own effort where you see for yourself.
Yeah. I get that all
reality.
You can help, but you cannot help me.
That's right.
It's only
That's right. I can encourage you. I can do all kinds of things, but I can't be there with you and hold your hand. This is the most. This too is an extremely useful thing for you, for everybody to see. You guys too. I'm pointing at the camera. It's impossible for anybody to do this for you. This is entirely your own effort. It is nothing that anybody can do for you, nor is it anything that anybody can tell you exactly how to do. All I can do, and sometimes I try to tell you how to do it, but not too much, I hope, because all I can do is talk you into doing it, and then you'll find your way. This possibility relies on self-reliance like nothing else. You're really welcome. I'm very happy to see you. Okay, anybody else? Michael, Bob's so good. It's the mad cow, it's not being able to remember names.
Is it possible to be in denial of suffering and fear and still feel that life is sweet? Because for many years, I have felt life is, I've just been content. I live a fairly, as you were speaking, not a lot of social interaction, very interested in my practice, meditation, etc. And not having a lot of issues. And I have been told that, if you don't have a lot of problems and questions, then you're not going anywhere religiously or, in terms of the practice. Because it's the suffering that brings you to this, and it's the cessation of suffering that we're looking at. But so there's like this, do I have to create problems and suffering to move on? That sounds crazy, but
no.
It's almost like trying to create issues to resolve.
Please don't try to create issues to resolve.
No, it's crazy. It's
and I'll tell you something.
Yes.
And that is that there's no way that I can possibly have any sense of what denial is going on or whether denial is present. When you report to me that you're content with your life, I take that at face value. What else can I do?
Yeah.
But I tell you this, that whether you are content with your life or discontented with your life, whether you are in denial or completely awake and aware, the activity of looking at your actual nature is beneficial and useful. And it does not require that you be conscious of suffering. It does not even require that you be suffering. But to do so will reveal to you your innate, inherent capacity to see for yourself things as they are, including you and your relationship to the entire parade of phenomena.
Well, the fact that I'm here, I mean, the fact that, you say this teaching has drawn me.
Seems suspicious, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Not suspicious, but auspicious.
Auspicious, yeah.
In the sense that obviously there's something that says, it's not the whole package. I mean, just being content
Yeah, well,
it's okay. But,
okay.
there's maybe something else. And I think,
well, the sense that there is maybe something else arises
Yeah.
from a feeling that
Yeah.
that maybe something's missing or I haven't
Yeah.
gotten anything.
Right.
And the thing is that just look at yourself.
yeah, oh no, that's,
And whether you're suffering or not suffering, you will benefit from it.
Right.
And you will see for yourself. You see for yourself. That's the outcome of this, is to stand on your own feet.
Right.
See for yourself.
Right.
And then you can say that nobody can tell you that you are or are not suffering. Nobody.
Right.
No, and then nobody can tell you that you are doing what you should do or not doing what you should do.
Right.
You're your own, you're your own person, your own.
okay, thanks.
Okay? And I'll never try to convince anybody that they're unhappy. Anybody that thinks they're happy, I know I've seen people try to do that, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. If you're happy, be happy. If you decide that that wasn't the case, that you made a mistake, that's okay too. Okay. Yeah, well. Hi.
I wanted to try something different today.
Okay.
I wanted to come up here before I was ready to come up here.
Okay. How's it going?
I'm not sure yet. Feels different.
Good.
I don't know.
Fair enough. So now you're here. What are we going to do now?
It's coming.
I got all day.
Good. I think I want to talk about looking. And the location of looking or something around that.
I mean, where to look?
Well, it feels like there is a location of me, but I don't know where it is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. It certainly does.
Like I've heard on the podcast some people say, I think one guy said it feels like it's right there, but I don't know where it is. I can just sense I'm looking at me.
Yes. See, it's very difficult to localize you. And because you're not actually localizable. You are, there's nowhere that you are not. Nowhere you can look, but you cannot see you. Nowhere. The feeling of being, of having a location is the feeling of being here. The certainty of being here. It's the here-ness of you that translates as a location. But you're not localizable. You are here. There's no doubt about that. Always here. Totally here. Nothing to you but here. No doubt about that. But you're not localizable because you're everywhere.
Okay, so if there's only me and I'm everywhere, when I look at something, that chair, it's not the same feeling as when I look at me.
No, it's the same. Nor is it the same feeling when you look at your own thoughts.
No.
Or the sensational arisings within your body.
No.
Or the emotional arisings within you. It's not the same as looking
and yet
at
they
you.
are me. It's all me.
Well, it's certainly, they exist, they live and move and have their being in you. You are their substance, you are their location. They are localizable. They are located in you.
And are they me?
Of course, there's nothing else for them to
Right.
be but you. There's no other substance around
Right.
except you. You can't find anything anywhere that's solid in the way that you are.
Right.
Nothing. It's all conditional. It all depends upon you and whatever conditions shape and affect it.
Okay. So this feeling that there is a location of me, even though I don't know where it is what I look at.
Sounds like it might be.
Right.
We don't want to get this too complicated, and we
No.
don't want to get it too subtle either, because it is very tempting to speak about your nature, about my nature, about the nature of reality in a language and a context
Right.
that causes us to speak of its exquisite subtlety and its like it's ethereal, it can't be seen or touched
Right.
or held or any of that. And there's a reason why those descriptions and those metaphors come up that have to do with the actual experience of looking at yourself. But they, like all other descriptions of that activity, fall short. They are,
Right.
yeah, sure, it's possible to speak of you as being subtle and difficult to see and hidden and all of that. It's possible to speak of that. That's one of the ways in which people can talk about your nature.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible to speak of you as being solid as a rock, because that too is a verifiable feel
Right.
of you, right? Impervious. But all of those descriptions fall short. The purpose of what I propose that we do is not to arrive at a better description of reality, but to arrive at the capacity to see for ourselves reality as it is, And then if we are moved to express some description of that, we know, with beyond a shadow of a doubt, that that ain't true. That ain't it. But, we may do so anyway. But the point of this is not to arrive at a description. The point of this is to put you to where you can see reality for yourself directly in a way that is undeniable. It's self-evident. And then, I tell you, for me, the interest in description and it kind of fades. Just kind of fades.
I noticed when I was telling you last night where I had that time where I was looking from there, not here, there is no interest in the description.
Right.
And I don't even remember if there was any even location of me. I don't remember actually. It just feels like all the questions just fall away.
Yeah, right.
And I guess that's why I wasn't wanting to come up, because I know that experience where they fall away. And I think this is really a pointless question, because I know over the bridge the question falls away, but yet the question's here, so I'm not going to deny that.
No,
Right.
exactly. That's right. That's right. The impulse to pretend,
Yeah.
right, is huge in the face of what seems to be self-evident truth.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't feel true to say, well, I've seen that and I know that, so this is pointless. That just feels like a denial that where I am now is not seeing through that filter.
Yeah.
And I think maybe
Go on, I'm sorry.
I was just thinking, I think the tears, I was going to call it sadness, but I don't know if it is. I know what I'm looking at. But doubt comes.
That's okay. Doubt is just one more phenomenal arising. It is an effect.
Right.
It's an effect. It causes nothing. It does not need to be extinguished. It does not need to be held on to. It's just doubt. In fact, in Zen, or at least in some Zen teachings, all of the practice is geared to evoking what they call the doubt sensation. The doubt sensation is productive of the impulse to see for yourself. It's not a bad thing. It produces this impulse to see for yourself. Okay?
That's helpful. Yeah. That's exactly what it does.
Yeah.
And what I was making it mean was,
But there's something wrong.
that I'm weak in my conviction of seeing myself or whatever.
Right.
That's helpful.
We misinterpret these things
Yeah.
and lose the usefulness they are to us.
It brings you back to self-reliance. That's right. Thank you for that. That's right.
Yeah. Just keep looking for yourself. Just keep looking. Everything will become clear. And it won't be any big deal.
No, I've seen that.
You know, the
Yeah.
big deal is all the drama of, oh, am I going to get it?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I liked the not big dealness of it when I was experiencing it.
yeah, it's unexpected,
Yeah, very.
given our addiction to big deals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you're very welcome. Okay? Back there? Yes. I don't know your name, do I?
No.
Okay.
Tanya.
Gwen?
Tanya.
Tanya. Hi, how are you? My goodness, what do we have here? Notes and stuff.
I just didn't want to. I was going to act. I'm very shy, so I was actually going to ask this tonight, but it's kind of bugging me. Because I don't know if I'm going in the right direction. Like this morning, I was running on the beach and I was listening to my iPod, and it just came to me like every song that I was listening to, like every love song, like I get chills when I'm with you, or been waiting my whole life for someone like you. I'm like, that's me. And then I didn't know, okay, am I just getting stuck up, or is that I'm supposed to be doing that? Is that I'm looking at me like that? Like that me that I've been looking for all my life, or?
Are you saying, are you a country and western love song?
No, but when I'm thinking about it, like when I'm hearing the thoughts or the words, everything comes back to me.
Yes, it does. I can't answer that question. And I'm going to tell you why. I have no comprehensive understanding of the infinite variety of particular paths to the meeting with the actuality of your own reality that are available to you. I really don't have that. I don't have a basket full of things and say, oh, you say, oh yeah, that's one of them. The thing to see is that you know exactly what it feels like to be you. And you know that the emotional feelings and the desires and the aversions and the thoughts and all of that are after you. They are outward from you. They are the things that you look at, the things that you receive. They are not, in this sense, what it is that you're looking for. It is in those emotional states and beliefs and understandings and desires and all of that. It is in that we have always looked for the problem and for the solution. And looking there has done us no good at all. It's fun. It's even fun to be miserable sometimes, right? To be, woe is me. But they really don't do us any good. There's no problem. They don't cause us any harm. They are literally effects. They just have arisen because of this underlying misunderstanding, this underlying false assumption. So they're not a problem. They really don't hurt you. And you're free to continue playing in them forever, really. It's not going to hurt you at all. But the reality of you is prior to all of that. It is not something that is seen outward as a feeling or an emotion or an opinion or a sensation. The reality of you is only inward. In fact, there is nothing at all inward except you. Inward is you. And my experience is that, and I'm trying to be helpful, that my experience is that the length of time during which you can be directly conscious of and recognize your actual nature is very brief. It's not something that you can wallow in. It's not something you can rest in. It's not, it's not like that. It's not I know that there's a lot of practices and a lot of teachings and so forth that speak of resting and peace and stillness and so forth. You can't rest in you. I mean, because you are you, right? And the feeling of being you is so not what you're accustomed to looking at that it comes and goes very quickly. Over time, if you continue to do this, over time you will notice that actually you always are aware of this background, not the particularities, but of the background of the particularities, that you've never not been aware of it, never not been conscious of. You just haven't noticed it or recognized it for what it was in the past. It's not what one expects. And if you try, it doesn't matter. You will make false starts. You will, but that's where your natural intelligence and your capacity for discernment comes in. You will make false starts. You will falsely identify one phenomenal arising or another as being, that's what I'm looking for. But you'll see, you'll know quickly that no, not that, and you'll continue to look and you'll continue to try. And with all of the energy that you might bring to finding the perfect relationship, or the perfect life, or the perfect understanding, with all the energy that you might bring to that, just every once in a while put that energy to seeing if you cannot get the actual feel of you prior to anything, prior to any of the sweetness or any of the sourness or anything whatsoever. Because the purpose of this is not to discover yourself to be this or that. It's not to discover yourself to be like peace and stillness or sweetness or clarity or any of that. You see, then that's the purpose that is presented to us often, is to find out that we are infinite, or we are invulnerable, or we are peaceful, or we are empty, or whatever. That's not the purpose of this. The purpose of this is just to bring your conscious attention in direct contact with your reality, the reality of you, just for a moment. Just for a moment. And then again, and again. And the outcome of this is to rid you of any false assumption about your nature. Not in a way where what dawns is a comprehensive understanding of your actual nature as opposed to what you thought you were and so forth. That's all just chatter. In a way that is not palpably conscious, in a way that is a knowing, deep knowing, that doesn't translate into exposition and understanding, so forth. But you can't fail. You really can't.
So do you have any suggestions in the meantime that I'm trying to find me, if like negative things come up? I'm a single mom with a 12-year-old son, so if we're having a
Tough
confrontation or something, do I say, hold on, Camden, I'm going to go. Mommy's going to go look at me.
No, this is not, no, don't do that. Do this. I mean this literally. I want you to hear this very literally. Do this whenever it occurs to you to do so. It doesn't interrupt your life. It is so small a thing, so small and brief a thing. You just do it when it occurs to you to do so. You try when it occurs to you to do so. You don't worry about the times when you don't do it, because they don't count. The only times that count were when you do it. You do. When you do that voodoo. You see? And you can't be denied. You can't fail. Because what we're talking about is not something special or up in the heavens or alive and awake and full of clarity. We're not talking about any of that. We're talking about you. You. And you're always here. You can't get away from you.
And I understand like little things like I'm insecure, but that doesn't matter. That's not going to hurt me. But what about like fear of major tragedy, like death of a family member or something? If that happens, how can you just say, that's not going to hurt me?
It's not going to hurt you. It really isn't. But it doesn't mean what you think it means. It doesn't mean that when some terrible tragedy strikes, there won't be. In fact, the grief may even be much more intense and implacable than when we are keeping at arm's length the life and how it unfolds. To say that it's not going to hurt you doesn't mean that it isn't hurtful or it isn't, deeply painful and tormenting. It means that it's not going to leave any scar on you whatsoever. That when this automatic response to circumstance arises appropriately, that it will be and then it will go. And won't leave a residue behind. Something for you to remember about how miserable you were, or how you weren't appropriately miserable, or, like that. It just comes and goes. It doesn't diminish the strength of the emotional arisings and phenomenal arisings. Quite to the contrary, it erases the distance between you and the way your life unfolds. It just doesn't hurt you. It doesn't cause you any damage. It doesn't cause you any damage to be sad. It doesn't cause you any damage to be grieving. It doesn't cause you any damage to be angry. None of those things cause you any damage. These are all effects. They all arise because of a cause. They don't do anything. So you don't. I mean, you can if you want to, say, oh, right, I'm cool. That doesn't bother me. Oh, my leg just got run over by a tractor. Oh, that's okay. It's just life becomes more intimate, less distant, less fraught with the idea that you're at stake here. You're not at stake here. Really. Life doesn't get flattened. It becomes more gorgeous, more juicy.
Well, that was my next thing. I guess like Giles said yesterday, once you get to know me, you, is your life just emotionless, boring, or?
No.
Because I like to go out on spontaneous adventures. I might just be like, I'm so content in myself. I just want to be here.
There's no predicting how this particular personality and persona and life form and so forth will unfold. But there's no predicting that now either. I mean, we try, but there's no predicting it. The fact is that the arising of impulses, the arising of relationships, the arising of opinions and all of that stuff, that's just all automatic. It's stimulus response. And it has no meaning. It has no real content to it. So there's nothing about this that will, because of its nature, lead you to become a slug laying on your bed contemplating your navel. You may become a slug laying on your bed contemplating your navel, but it won't be because of this. It'll be because that's just the way the life unfolded. The life is what's called a chaotic system, and it's moved by strange arisings and energies and so forth. So you don't have to concern yourself with that. I mean, it'll be as it will be. But it doesn't, it hasn't produced that kind of effect in me. I don't lay on my bed contemplating my navel. So I can testify that it doesn't necessarily produce that effect.
Okay, I think that's everything in my notes. Thank you.
It's a great pleasure to talk to you. Stay in touch, okay? Life lives itself. Really. Life lives itself. And life speaks for itself. It doesn't need a mouthpiece. It doesn't need a direction. It doesn't need a director. It doesn't need a super-egoic mastermind to determine what it should do and what it shouldn't do. It lives itself. It lives itself when it is arising within the context of misery and pain and fearfulness and anxiety in a much more convoluted and difficult fashion than it lives itself when it's not burdened with all of that. But we don't have anything to say about it. I mean, really. Who has anything to say about how their life unfolds? I mean, I certainly, it would be really stupid for me to claim to have anything to say about how my life unfolds. Life was itself. Life speaks for itself. Your role is just to look, just to enjoy. Anybody else? Helen? Hi. Good morning.
I guess I have sort of a report,
Okay.
a little bit of an affirmation. I've always been struck by the term, you're not at stake here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that I've heard it a different way. I heard it in a more complete way this time when you say that nothing has ever harmed you and nothing has ever hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
And I really see that.
Yes, it's true.
And I think it's so incredible.
It is, isn't it? I mean, it's like shocking. It's like, what?
Yeah, and it's so beautiful
It is.
to see that. And because we spend so much of our life, well, for at least in my case, there's been a lot of thinking that there's something wrong somewhere or something that was
That's
lacking,
the human condition.
something, that needed to be gotten. And a lot of that, most of that has dropped away. But what I realize is still there is sort of out there needs to be changed, or that person is threatening, or the feelings that I get with this are threatening. Well, so they are, but so what?
Yeah, and I tell you, your interest in the effect of these things in your own consciousness will depart. It's not that the effect will depart, necessarily, but your interest in it departs. The fact is that I think I talked about this yesterday, but it doesn't matter. The fact is that just as it is the case that nothing whatsoever that arises within you hurts you or helps you in any way, so too, nothing that arises in you seemingly as a result of the presence of other people's stupidity and ignorance hurts you or helps you in any way either. Right.
Yeah,
There's no difference there. Yeah.
It's a huge relief.
Yeah, it is. Huge relief. It's stunning.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. That's the reason that I see that this possibility is not a repudiation of things in any way whatsoever. It's a fulfillment of these things. And the only way that it can be fulfilled, which is for you to see you directly on your own. It's good news. So happy you guys came.
Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else? Tom? Morning.
Guess I'm just trying to reconcile again my understanding, this notion that we're on the verge of destroying ourselves, and there's nothing you can do, just watch and enjoy. So these feel dissonant to me. I mean, there's a kind of anxiety that comes up in the prospect of humanity destroying itself, and yet,
Gosh, imagine that.
yeah. And yet, whatever vague involvement with environmentalism or, political doings and stuff, I see it for what it is. So it's one thing for me to, I see you're on your own. It's just you, just see for yourself, be a light to yourself. Sure, if everybody were to do that, whatever that means, then probably the world would be a different place and we probably wouldn't destroy ourselves. Who knows? But nonetheless, there still feels some dissonance between that possibility. Tragedy that.
Well, let me see if I can help resolve that, okay? I think that the source of the confusion might have to do with the confusion about the actual nature of the creature itself. It is natural for us to assume and to work on the assumption that we are each individual creatures, even if we have some advanced spiritual understanding which says all is one. Still, all is one includes all these individual aspects of oneness and so forth, right? Like there's you with your problems, and you may be similar to me because you're a human being, but then there's me with my problems, and I'm kind of similar to you because I'm a human being, but not identical. Not identical. But the fact is that you are identical with the entirety of the human creature. That there is no distance or separation whatsoever between this arising of the sense of individual consciousness and the creature that is comprised of the arising of senses of individual consciousness in all of the human beings that are present on the earth. This is a single creature. It is one mind. It is one mind that is composed of the sense of separate minds. But it's one mind. The whole purpose of everything we do, and the whole purpose that brings us to this work, is to resolve within ourselves the sense of dissatisfaction and discontent. But we find that the sense of dissatisfaction and discontent is actually more pervasive than we might have imagined once it resolves itself within this individual mind stream. It is more pervasive than we imagine. That actually the case is that, although I see very clearly, I still present in me, because it's only me, nothing else anywhere. Present within me is all of the misery and suffering and hatefulness and aggression and efforts to get things and efforts to get rid of things that are part of the whole human creature. So, it's not surprising that we would feel anxious and upset about the prospect of the destruction, the extinction of humanity. It's not surprising. We contain within us the entire energy of all the things that are occurring that are bringing about that destruction. So the solution is not to, just as the solution in the individual, on the level of the individual, is not to find out the particular aspects of the life that are problematic and get rid of them or fix them. That doesn't work. The solution to the problem of the life is to go to the root of it and solve the core problem. Similarly, the solution to the problem that faces humanity, the impending extinction of itself, is not solvable merely by taking up the cause of protecting the environment, of doing away with carbon, and doing all of that. It's not solvable by merely doing that, or by merely finding a way to pressure other countries not to gain nuclear weapons or anything like that, or not solvable merely in finding a way to persuade the United States government not to continue killing people and all of that. It's not solvable by attacking or trying to resolve the effects of the core problem, which is the same for the human creature as it is for the human individual, which is the underlying sense writ large, spread out over the whole species, that something's wrong. That something has to be done. That you're wrong, or you're wrong, or I'm wrong, and something has to be done. So, I too am alive with a desire to save humanity. I mean, that's the truth. My life is a witness to that. Even when I was younger, I was alive with a desire to save humanity. The things that I thought were needed to be done were to fix the individual aspects, the individual effects of the core problem, like capitalism, for example. I thought that's what needed to go in order for us to be free and happy. But it's just not the case. These are effects. Capitalism is an effect. Imperialism is an effect. The incredibly irresponsible seeking after profit that leads to the pollution of the atmosphere is an effect. It's not a cause, it's an effect. So when we approach the effects, although there's nothing, if this life moves into the work and one of the effects of this problem, that's just what happens. But the solution to the particular problem is not going to produce an end to the overall problem of the sense that we are at stake and miserable and in danger here. And something has to be done. By God, something has to be done. Kill that one off, or get rid of that one, or give me all that, or... So, what I've seen, finally, is that the only hope, and I don't know if it'll work. Who knows, right? I mean, it requires the confluence of great good fortune and just luck, the luck of the draw, like crapshoot. But I can see very clearly that whether it's likely or unlikely, whether I expect it to occur or don't expect it to occur, that if I am to do something that is useful to the human creature, that this is the only thing I can do that's useful to the human creature, is to see for myself reality as it is, and to encourage every human being I come across to see for themselves reality as it is. And that's what I do. And I am persuaded, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not channeling anybody here. I am persuaded as this human being that this possibility, this proposal, so far as I can tell, is the only chance we have. So that's what I do.
Not to dispute any of that, but as you say at times, it takes time.
Yeah.
And so here's a scenario of which, do we have enough time?
Don't know. Don't know. Time will tell, as they say.
Anyway, so I can just see the place for the urges to, like ease up on the climate.
Yeah,
and
right. And
the
all that
nuclear weapons in the war and all that stuff, just to give us a little time.
Yeah, all that. I have no. It's not like I say nobody should be doing anything but this. Instead, I say that I shouldn't be doing anything but this, and that whatever we are all doing in an effort to ameliorate the effects of our incredible stupidity, keep it up. Really, postpone the inevitable. But I'll tell you one thing about this, is that we are in a unique time. The capacity that we have to be able to speak to each other, no matter where we are, is unbelievable. It's more and more revealed to me in our own work. The capacity to be in communication with each other, to speak to each other, to suggest this to each other, is for the first time in the history of the creature actually presents the possibility of this prevailing. Hasn't been possible in the past. I mean, the Buddha walked the roads of India for like 49 years, something like that, trying to bring what he felt to be the answer to the problem. And how many people could he have talked to? Really. How many people could he have talked to? 10,000? 100,000, maybe? Drop in the bucket. But we are positioned to where we can talk literally to everybody. To anybody who will listen in, we can talk to them. And this possibility of ridding ourselves at the source, which is the source is the individual sense of endangerment. This possibility we have of ridding ourselves of the fundamental problem of human existence at the source has never been like it is now. So we have worldwide meetings, and we're looking to find different ways to be able to bring this possibility, because when people hear this, by and large people hear this and they say, I don't know what they say to themselves, but they try it. I mean, they really do. They try it, by and large. I mean, it's not like all the other teachings that I've known of where people are, well, I don't know, it's not for me. I mean, look at yourself. What's the big deal about that? So, and the truth is also that if humanity goes extinct, it won't touch you. It will not touch you. It's not that you require the existence of humanity. The existence of humanity requires you. You don't require the existence of humanity. It's just that humanity is seems to have such potential. Okay. Did I help? Anybody else? John? This will be the last one before lunch. Good to see you again.
It's been a challenge to, root my way through all these pseudo questions that keep coming up. But boy, you just dropped a bombshell.
What was that?
It won't touch you if humanity is destroyed.
Of course not.
That's a bombshell.
Yes, well, that's true.
Was that revealed through looking at yourself?
It's self-evident. It is self-evident. You see for yourself. That is self-evident.
I believe it, and I don't know why I believe it. It's like it's like the nose on my face. There's no
Yes,
question
that's right.
about it.
That's right.
It's frightening. It's terrifying. It's everything. It's more than I can understand by any stretch of the imagination.
It's not understandable. It's not subject. It's not subject to be brought into understanding. It's just the case. It's just the case, and you just stated it's the case. Like it or lump it.
So the only thought I have about that is that humanity must be in effect.
Humanity is in effect. Humanity is an evolutionary arising. Unpredicted, unpredictable. In the evolutionary unfolding of the universe, this creature has appeared. And there are a lot of disciplines in which the way in which this creature has appeared is described, but it's beside the point. This creature has appeared. It's an evolutionary arising. It is not, so far as I know, and although evolution itself is, God knows from whence this comes, God knows from whence the world and reality at all comes. But it is not helpful or useful to retreat into the assumption that the universe is created by something with some purpose and some conscious intent. It is more useful and helpful not that this is the truth necessarily, but I find it more useful and helpful to see it from the perspective of God knows from whence it came, but it is an evolving organism. It is unfolding in compliance with the laws of cause and effect, basically, over time. And this creature has appeared. Unexpected. Unpredicted. And here we are. Wonderful creature. Really a wonderful thing. A wonderful arising. It's stunning.
Delicate,
And delicate.
but not at stake.
But not at stake. Okay? Okay, let's go to lunch. I expect to have not very much at all to say in the way of exposition when I come back, but you never know. I too am unpredictable in this regard. I seem to like the sound of my own voice much more than I admit to. But the bulk of the work of this retreat in these final couple of meetings has to be conversations with you. That's the thing that is most helpful. It's of no great use to you or anybody else for me to expound on my wonderful, exalted understanding of the nature of reality. The thing that's useful to you and to me and to anybody else who is finally, these things go everywhere. I mean, we're shocked sometimes when we discover the incredible reach of these recordings, the audio recordings and the videos. They pop up everywhere. They're amazing. And the thing that's most useful to you and to me and to everybody who has the opportunity to share with us in what has come to pass in our time together is in conversation, in discussing together, in considering together this work. So there. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very grateful for it. This is the most amazing retreat of all. This has been really amazing. So I'll see you later.